Hey, Samantha.
It's so nice to finally meet you, Cameron.
Yeah, likewise. I know this has been a long time in the making, and but better late than never, right?
Absolutely. I'm very grateful to finally have made today align.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Where are you today?
I live in Santa Cruz,
Oh,
California.
okay, nice. I there's too many S's in Cali, like Santa Monica, Santa Cruz,
Yeah,
San Diego. I don't. It's
get the hang.
somewhere LA or something.
I'm in Northern California,
Okay, okay, gotcha.
Santa,
Nice.
a little south.
Okay. How are your holidays and everything?
They were really sweetly calm, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I know it's a that tends to be a rarity, huh? In terms of the just like a calm, tensionless family experience.
I I make it a priority regardless of what's going around.
Yeah,
I don't love the holidays. I love spending time with my family all the time. Like I rather spend lots of quality time just throughout the year.
mm.
Uh, I live pretty close to the my mom's side of the family. So I grew up in San Jose, which is very close. Another S, very close to Santa Cruz.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm really happy you're here, and I'm happy to be chatting with you and to uh, introduce you to the Awakenpedia community and for you to kind of start to get involved with everything that's going on. I know Maddie, Natalie have had wonderful things to say about you and your practice and your offerings. And I want to use today as a little window to give everyone a chance to peek into your life and what you do, why you do it. Um, and so that's what this is, and just a little informal chat to get to know each other and to highlight your journey thus far.
Sweet, I'm here for it.
Okay. So the way I typically like to start these, Samantha, is just to give you the chance to share a bit about your background, whatever you are comfortable sharing, and whatever you feels relevant to kind of let your heart express in terms of how you got to this moment. Um, so if you would just kind of giving a bit of context for us about how you got here.
Sure thing. Yeah, well, my name is Samantha, and I'm a self-worth sexual empowerment coach. So I help women heal their relationship to their bodies and to their sexual energy. And I came along this path through healing my own childhood sexual trauma and abuse. And I've been blessed with what I feel like just the most amazing mentors and teachers along the way, Layla Martin being a huge one. And so just my desire to really help women. There's a big unworthiness wound that all of us face, men, women, every gender, every person, and it manifests differently. But that's really been my calling, is to help people just awaken and remember their own beauty, their own magic and magnificence. And yeah, so I feel um, just really grateful to be doing this work. I feel like it's some of the most powerful and can be a really missing link for a lot of people. I know I started out my gateway into spirituality, into healing and embodiment was yoga, which is a beautiful and powerful one. And then just where that's taken me through meditation. And I went to school, I went to college in Hawaii. And it's wonderful how certain places can really relax your nervous system. I became a much more peaceful person. I stopped drinking. That's when I was having more realizations around healing these deeper parts of myself. And
Yeah, yeah, I know. I stopped drinking too, almost 3 years ago now, but it is incredible how once you let yourself um, give yourself that permission to cleanse on all dimensions of existence, that the channels just become so clear and you can start to access insights in ways that you couldn't even imagine before, when your chakra system was clogged, when the energy was all trapped and you're living egoically through your mind.
Mm.
um, it's yeah, so when you just step into this healing journey and let yourself be seen, incredible things happen, that's for sure.
Like, yeah, that is a way to kind of mask the trauma. I used to drink and black out a lot. And I drink now very occasionally. I still enjoy it. There's that little part of me that still enjoys it. But I'm in a much more
Right.
responsible, right,
Yeah.
relationship to it.
Yeah, and that's what matters.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about, being able to do anything with intention consciously, and it's a conscious choice. So
right.
yeah,
Come from.
Eckhart Tolle, he still has a couple glasses of wine with dinner, you know. So there's nothing wrong with the alcohol in and of itself. It's when the alcohol owns you is when it starts to become problematic. Um, not not to go down that rabbit hole right now, but maybe we do a podcast sometime or something. Um, so why don't you tell me a bit more, like we'll kind of piggyback off your journey and kind of getting into some of your stuff. But how long have you been doing this line of work, and can you speak a bit about the specific containers that you offer women in terms of your offerings, your solutions? I know you have a variety of things going on, from workshops to one-on-one work to you know podcasts and everything else. So um, would love just kind of the overview of what you do and what you offer.
Yeah, I did my sex, love, and relationship coaching program with Layla in 2019. So more intentionally since then. I was doing it previously in different ways, but coaching since 2019, 2020. And right now I lead workshops on in person. That's my favorite. Um, but me and a really close friend named Gina, she's Australian, we met living at a meditation center in Mazunte, Mexico.
Mm.
And she did Layla's program after me, but we do a Jade Egg program for women online via Zoom, and that we're launching our third round of that right now, and that has been so beautiful. Her aunt did it one time, my mom did it once, and we've had a lot of people, such as our mutual friend Natalie, repeat it several
Mm-hmm.
times. So it's building a really sweet community. And I have also, my favorite is one-on-one, because that's when we can really dive into that deeper work, really personal to each woman. And I'm actually really thanking Natalie. She's been such a blessing. We did 10 sessions together, and
Wow.
I woke up to a text from a mutual friend who I had a clarity session with like a month ago, and she ran into Natalie and she just texted me and she's like, I'm ready to do coaching. Like, I talked to Natalie. So, um, and Natalie's the one that
Yeah.
connected us. Yeah. And I'm going to be launching later this year a program that I have called Sensual Metamorphosis,
Mm.
which is one-on-one coaching. There's a group component as well as an online course that you follow along with guided audio practices. It's very embodied. So I'm guiding you through self-pleasure practices, through breath work. And that's some of the things that we do in our one-on-one too. I lead women through jade egg practices, work. We do inner child healing, healing our relationship to our caregivers, to our inner masculine and inner feminine, and really redefining what that means to us and what that looks like.
Sure. Yeah. Um, and I'd love for you to, if you wouldn't mind, Samantha, just kind of speaking a bit more towards like your philosophy, right? And like what you're really aiming to do here in terms of um, the services and solutions you provide, knowing that so many women have been, and I feel like this is listening to you and reading about your story and background, that you often work with women who have been abused in some capacity, right? And
Mhm.
that's kind of um, gotten them stuck within themselves and trapped, so it seems, within that type of energy profile. Not to their fault, of course, right? But what is it that you do? Do you speak to that within your services, and what is it exactly that you're doing when it comes to using tantra and other modalities to help these women? Is it a form of liberation that you see it as?
Yes, 100%. And I that some of the core principles are that everything is welcome here. So really providing that safe space. And that is the foundation of the work, is rebuilding that trust and safety with yourself and with your physical body. Because
Mm,
trauma, we have disconnected and dissociated from our bodies and from our innate intelligence and wisdom. And so just coming back to that again and again, like every part of me is welcome here. Every part is worthy of love. And, me providing that safe space for women to revisit certain things that they've experienced throughout their life, and to hold that level of compassion and forgiveness for self. And alongside that is learning to reparent ourselves. So
mm,
providing the love, the care to these tender parts of ourselves that haven't felt safe to express themselves, to be seen. And so learning to talk to those parts, to soothe those parts, self-soothing, self-regulation, um, is another core practice with that. And then really reclaiming our innate worthiness, and doing that through self-pleasure. Because when we're in meditative states, when we're in states of pleasure, we're in that theta state, which is the same state from our youth until we were about 7 years old. So using sound, binaural beats, and by being in these relaxed states, we're able to access our subconscious, and thus reprogram these parts that we've denied, that we've rejected, that we've shamed or made wrong. And so, inviting them out piece by piece, and just offering them love that they've always longed for and deserved. And through that, creating wholeness, because wholeness is really the foundation, the precursor for feeling worthy.
mm.
We're rejecting parts of ourselves, and there's always going to be that voice that feels like there's something wrong with us, or that we're not good enough, we're not worthy of love or deserving of the things that we desire. So it's really retraining the mind and in that body mind connection.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, and I appreciate your approach. It seems like a big focus is on nervous system regulation and helping us to come back into
Yeah.
homeostasis with our most natural self. The part of ourselves that we've forgotten in through our conditionings and the traumas, experiences we've endured. That's been covered up, right? That light that we are, that
Mm-hmm.
wholeness and fullness, and and using your approach in terms of helping to see the truth of who we are, with tantra, with pleasure, with embodiment. They seem like very accessible and effective ways to help us reunion with who we truly are.
Yeah, it's accessible, free, and it's always unlimitedly available
Yeah.
to us. Yeah, and that's, our sexual life force energy is everything that moves, emanates through all life. And so when we're in right relationship with that and learning how to cultivate and channel it in healthy ways, it's deeply empowering.
Yeah. And that'd be something. Can you speak to this for a second as well? Sex is an interesting topic to me, to the world, you know, and so often it gets misconstrued and used as a pleasure seeking device in the negative way, meaning that we get lost in it, right? Where it becomes egoic. So, in your practices and your solutions, do you speak to how we can remain conscious, right? And use this as a conscious practice to deepen ourselves into truth as opposed to get lost further away from who we truly are? Because oftentimes, right, sex becomes an addiction, and just sexual activity in general becomes something we use as a way of escaping. So, I think it's a very subtle but important art to distinguish how we can use sex and sex-based modalities as a ways to actually liberate us, not to further entrap
Yeah,
us.
yeah, great question and great point. Really, as we touched upon earlier, it's your come from and your intention. Intention is really everything. And so setting that intention, um, and I think many people who are in your space are relatively aware and conscious people. And so, you know, so yeah, before having a self-pleasure practice or before making love with your partner or partners, just setting an intention and creating sacred space around you and really going slow and being mindful in the act, especially with self-pleasure and listening to your body moment to moment. So you're really in this conversation with yourself and and really focusing on the felt sense, the physical sensations in your body. It's a moving meditation in that way.
Mm.
So it's also okay, that's a part of the journey as we like veer from the path, and then we come back, we're constantly coming back home to ourselves. But yeah, really setting intention, creating whatever that looks like, sacred space with candles, um, incense, soft lighting, like cushions, pillows, just making it feel really yummy and sacred. And yeah, but intention is ultimately
Intention.
everything.
Yeah, that makes the most sense because, intention applies attention, meaning it's your awareness that you're investing into um, an activity. And yeah, so that intention seems like it'd be so important to um, bring in as a quality of consciousness or of energy into, whatever you're doing.
And just like meditation, when you realize that you're wandering or you're not present, it's just this invitation to come back home to yourself and realize when we're going into our default mode, especially when people have learned to self-pleasure a certain way that's kind of disconnected or disembodied. It's just this moment of like, aha, I can choose, make that choice to come back and do things differently. And that's a part of the retraining process, which over time will help people to not use it as a form of escapism. But really,
Mm.
my Layla also shares that women's pleasure has been so suppressed for so long that like it's also okay if you just want to have an orgasm, if you just want to experience that, and that's all right as well.
Mm.
No, yeah, ultimately no shame, but it's so individualized as well to each person.
Yeah. So where do you recommend that people start, and women in particular, um, who perhaps aren't familiar with Tantra, with conscious-based sexual engagement, who are just, perhaps like what they would, normal human beings, so-called, that are just more perhaps egoically plugged in to sex and pleasure and all of those, more unconscious ways of being. So yeah, where would you recommend someone like that begins to kind of bring more intention into pleasure, into sex, into relationships? What is your guidance in that way?
Yeah, well, I have two free offerings that I love, and why not? But breast massage is one of my favorite practices and most beautiful practices for women to begin to develop that trust and that safety with themselves. And also, you know, I didn't mention this earlier, but I work with the crystal or glass wand, helping women have less superficial orgasms and having deep vaginal cervical orgasms, which are very spiritual in essence. For me, sex and self-pleasure is a way to connect to my divinity, to connect to the totality of all. Um, and and so some women aren't ready though to do that, to especially if they're whatever experience of trauma that they have, to do penetrative work just isn't available to them. So the breast is such a great way, and we have so much negative conditioning and shame around our breasts and our bodies in general. So that's a powerful way. Our breasts are, it's how we penetrate the world. And so when we cultivate this sense of self-love and beauty, we begin to cultivate more radiance, and just that energy is really palpable. Um, and it can transform the way we feel about ourselves and about life. And and people feel that as well. Sorry, I'm reading some of the comments, enjoying those. Um, so yeah, and even just like touching the body, different parts of the body, and saying like, my body is safe, my body is beautiful. Like these are ways to start to build that trust and safety before doing some of the deeper internal work. And there's so many, amazing women and men in this work, and it's really about using your intuition to really vet, feel into, does this person feel in integrity and alignment? Do I feel, safe and calm in their presence? I think these are important things to look for when finding a teacher or a guide in this realm.
Yeah, yeah, it's great advice. Um, just bringing awareness back to the body, right, and giving yourself permission to to witness what is being experienced in that moment, and showing yourself love in the most simple ways of touch and recognition and just acceptance, right? Um, no matter who you are or where you are in that way. So, um, and Samantha, what are your intentions for 2024 for this year as a holistic healer, as a tantra, female empowerment, sexual empowerment coach? Um, what's your mission for this upcoming calendar year in this way? What do you got going on?
Mm. Well, that's a great question. I haven't really thought about this yet. Kind of my intention overall is just to cultivate more peace in my life. And um, but I'm really excited about, I love collaborating with my friends, with other women who are in similar line of work, because it's more enjoyable when our energies are fusing and working together. I'm really excited to continue with Jade Egg, my Jade Egg course, because that is also such a powerful way for women to heal their relationship with their yonis and to help extract and release trauma from their bodies in really gentle, loving ways. And as I mentioned, I'm going to start sensual metamorphosis again, which I didn't do it at all last year. So I'm excited to offer that again. And I I have this really powerful series. It's a 4-week series in person that I've done in Santa Cruz before, and I would like to do that maybe later this. And it's, I've been pushing my edge with, um, oh, thank you, Crystal. So sweet. Yeah, I've been pushing my edge with facilitating workshops at ecstatic dance retreats, at different events, because again, I love being in person. Any opportunity
Yeah.
to yeah, to be together again. And yeah, Does that answer your
Yeah, of
question?
course. I'm always curious, to get a sense of where you feel yourself being guided and what that will ultimately manifest for you as in terms of your offerings, what you do, where you do it, how you do it.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to work with you. You're someone that has such a unique profile from my point of view. I don't know many women who are as focused with a certain, unique spread of modalities and how you do things. But you're clearly, in tune and operating from a very deep place within yourself and helping to change the lives of women all around the world, including Natalie, Maddie, those who are so dear to me. Um, so I'm really excited just to work with you to help kind of expose more of what you do to the world, because I think frankly like a lot of people aren't just familiar with some of these practices and aren't so they're to help you educate uh, society on the benefits of jade egg, of certain practices that just aren't as widely adopted but are super effective.
yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes and how we can cultivate healing within these avenues.
Mm, thank you. Yeah, and saying yes to Awakenpedia, this beautiful platform, definitely is I felt the calling to say yes because I want to get my voice and my work out there more and just expand my community and my reach, because I feel like this work is really essential. And it's not just like an afterthought or something that would be nice. Like, it's really important that women and men do this work. I'm actually coming out with a little mini course for
Oh,
men
really?
that I decided to offer for the first time. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
But yeah,
That'd be great.
expanding my reach, and just being of greater service to women and beings all around the world.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, and I'm glad that we're able to share this, mutual union and journey together uh, in the aligned effort to serve this collective mission of transmuting suffering into peace and helping us to find more love and light in our lives. Because,
Mm,
like, that's what it's all about, right? Enjoying this journey, enjoying the ride, accepting who we are in totality, our bodies, our minds, our existence, our essence, being here now.
mhm,
Um, the only way to actually fully enjoy life is if we can accept all of it, all of what we are, all of what is, which includes what's happened to us, right? But not letting it define us. And so we can use those experiences as portals to be able to realize our own liberation and to set ourselves free from the chains that we've been
mm,
carrying. So
mm.
I'm excited to help you help women and men do that as we develop this modality and just further integrate you into the community.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I listened. I loved your meditation on death, um,
Thank you.
because I've done a lot of work around that. And um, when I lived at Mazunte, we would do these silent meditations, and the last day would be on death and dying. Shortly after I lived in Mazunte for 6 months, and I did all that work for the first time, my dog and a close friend passed away shortly thereafter, and I've just had this really tender but beautiful relationship with death, and that's a part of this as well. The orgasm is the little death. It's like it's dying to those parts of us that keep bound, and so it's really liberating those parts of us through, you know, all these different modalities, and it's really beautiful that you're bringing them all together. So I really appreciate you and Maddie and what you guys are doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, it's just the beginning, and the whole journey is awaits us. And of course, the paradox is that we're going nowhere except here, and it's no time except now. But nonetheless, you know, we're becoming more aware of the life that we are, and expressing that through our forms, our bodies, through movement, through all these different forms of empowerment, and in doing so, freeing ourselves and coming into that unconditioned state, which is one of total expression and total liberation. So, anyway, I think this is a good place to wrap up for now. Um, Everyone, thank you for tuning in. You guys can find more about Samantha, her offerings, her background, discounts, everything in the member forum in her profile, and can book with her directly. And we're going to be doing a lot of retreats this year, Samantha, so there'll be plenty of opportunities for you to get to know our audience and for them to get to know you through those, both on-site and virtual. And then also a bunch of events that we can do. And I think it'd be fun to host something together where we can, you know, kind of bring this audience, our audience and community, into greater awareness of the various offerings you have, and how it can serve them. Yeah.
Yeah. When are you going to do an in-person retreat?
We were thinking about this summer. August is the tentative date for that. Our first virtual retreat's coming up in April, in alignment with the 1 year of Awakenpedia's birthing. So that will be, yeah, that's the April retreat is Pathways to Healing, and it's basically an around the world perspective of all the various pathways to healing and how we can use these different modalities to facilitate the healing journey. So yeah, that one's first, and then I think we're hoping to get some tropical venue lined up for August.
August is my birthday month, so that sounds
There you
great.
go.
Well, thank you so much. I wanted to share one more thing.
Sure.
February 11th, I'm doing a 2-hour online offering for Valentine's Day. It's for women, women who are single or women with partners, to just really start off that week just really loving themselves. And we're going to be doing a really powerful ritual, self-love ritual, with flowers and chocolate and all sorts of yummy things. So that donation, or sliding scale.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you
Wonderful.
so
Well,
much,
thank you. All right. Talk to you later. Thank you.
Cameron. Say hi to Maddie for me.
I will.